Night of Destruction number 2, season 4 of the low budgets. And Tommy, we have made it to the second event. If you want to say, you know, barely keeping afloat is making it, but we're here
We creepy crawled down the river, floaties and all.
It is time for the figure 8 race, the race that has an uncontrolled intersection. And for the first time here at Irwindale Speedway, we're taking the compact cars and putting 4 wheels on them to go at it.
Jeffrey, you explained the biggest thing. First time ever, 4 tires. So what I'm expecting in this one is the absolute calamity because there's knuckleheads in the flagpole race. We have an intersection in that. People do some stupid moves to get a lot of stupid places, and I'm expecting this figure 8 race to be exactly the same.
Now, Tommy, you're going to be in Sweetieville for this one. You're supposed to be in for the Enduro, but like we talked about, the battery died. You got that ready to go. You got it jumped up. And now Sweetieville is going to be your car with the weird weird wheels and everything in the back.
You know, and part of the reason why is because I figure that this race will have a lot of damage and calamity in it, some stupid mistakes. So why not take a car that's already bent? If it gets wrecked, it gets wrecked.
On the other hand, folks, I will be taking out, for his first run of the night, Nick Wilde from Zootopia is here on track. Thanks to Sarah for painting this up. And Nick Wilde's going figure 8 racing, guys, before his run in the Demolition Derby.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and the fun part about this car, Tommy, is it likes to smoke.
It's a smoker, especially on, what was it, left or right turns? I don't know. I remember driving it in the pits. I think it was right turns because I was doing right turns and it started smoking, so I pretended I was doing a burnout. But one of the things that I'm going to keep an eye on is to see, I wonder if my right rear, since it's bent, is going to help in any way.
Yeah.
Kind of like a rear steer.
Yeah, you would kind of think it's either going to help you in one side and hurt you in the other.
And that's what I think it's going to do. I don't know. I don't care.
Well, we're getting ready for the figure 8 race. What do we got, 13 cars on track for this one?
13 cars, so we'll see what happens.
Here we go. It's the debut event for the figure 8s. It's the debut event for Nick Wilde as we get ready to go Zootopia figure 8s.
Cheers.
That was the longest race. I ran for 2 laps and I
Figure 8 the back stretch.
All right. Night of Destruction.
What a waste of an attempt, for me at least.
For all of us.
Well, no, because I didn't even have a transponder.
Tommy, I made one fatal error of the entire night.
What?
My car's still full of water.
Oh, just 1 or 2.
That's why I hated when I saw in the Enduro. Like, usually we make the race. I know for me, I got a little tied up on the track. My car's happy.
It did overheat?
Because it overheated after the 3rd lap. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, we gotta get you a new radiator.
I will say, actually, it wasn't overheating, but you saw, it was the radiator.
Yeah.
So
what we'll do is we'll take the hatchback radiator out and put it in your car.
But yeah, we'll have our break, we'll regroup. Are all the other trailers ready?
Mine and yours need to be hooked up.
Okay. Shayla's good. My car's full of water! So this is a goof-off race for Tommy and I. There's so much water in the bottom of my car right now. Don't you? Hey! Tommy's car isn't running. His car's not running. I have to push him. My car's a pool. If nothing else, this night is a night.
This thing's running out of gas.
Oh no!
across, and I was like, I'm staying. I was like, uh-oh, there's the tire.
I was waiting for it.
The tire looks good. When you came across, and I was like, I'm staying. I was like, uh-oh, there's the tire. The car sounds like crap, but the floorboard is dry. Figure 8 sounds real good.
16 cars took to the track for figure 8 racing, and Tommy, I didn't put a transponder on mine.
Well, you were kind of running your derby car, so thankfully you didn't have a transponder on it.
Yeah, true.
My car had a transponder on it, and I came home with 11th. A little grinding, a little sparking, and a little sideways.
Tommy, what a funny event, though. And an event, I'd say a successful event, because a lot of us didn't know how goofy this race was going to be. Carnage wasn't that high.
I was impressed.
But at the same time, this was a smaller field with pretty open space.
And respectable drivers. And a lot of the drivers in this had their cars prepped for the figure 8 racing, meaning they were serious.
Yeah.
You and I didn't. You and I got the word that we were going to be participating in this figure 8 race literally the night before. So that's why we just grabbed up whatever cars we can participate as field fillers. I feel like we put on a pretty good show. Yep. Meanwhile, you were out there clowning around.
I was. As you guys see, there were times during this race, or you may see, that I completely stopped on the track. And I'm over here in the turn, right over here in turn number 2, stopping on the track, and the reason for that is because I'm thinking, I want to line up a hit with Tommy, and I want to do this. But Tommy, speaking of hits with Tommy, I was trailing behind you, and at one point you thought I took you out.
So, funny story, and it sounds totally like Team Low Budget. In the staging lanes or before the race, Jeffrey says, don't be surprised if at one point I take you out. Fair game, totally fine. You can take out that piece of junk anytime you want. First lap of the third corner, I should say. First lap of the third corner, I get drilled, and I'm cracking up as I'm spinning out to look over, and Jeffrey's still coming around the corner.
Yep.
So it wasn't you that took me out. It was Willie Watley. He actually came over and apologized, like as if he took out his grandma. He said he had no brakes. He burnt it up in the enduro race and went to hit the brake pedal, and it went to the floor. So I looked at him and I said, dude, did you see the car you ran into? No hurt feelings.
Now, is that when your tire popped?
Immediately.
So you were out there, and you could tell, watching, I was following right behind you, Tommy, you were driving that thing one-handed like you
I couldn't, the other hand
you
was
were
in the
making
way.
a mixtape out there.
I was, because the two hands of mine, Ricky Bobby style, one was completely in the way. I couldn't drive it two-handed, because I was moving that steering wheel so fast that I would cross and hit my own arms on the steering wheel. So it's easier if I just had one. It was a wild ride. I was grinding it down out there.
But you were going for it too.
But I was also trying to stay in the top 10. Missed it. I got past there at the end by the Robbie Salcedo Machine 16. So I missed the top 10. But I feel like, and I hope so, that me staying out there put on one hell of a show.
For me, it did. Just watching you. But at the same token, Tommy, there were a couple times that I tried to line up hits with you, make it nice and close out there to put on a show. Because essentially...
And I felt bad because I wanted to join you. I was a little jealous of you because I saw you parking in the corner. I saw you coming close to me, and I wanted to join you. But I also wanted to see if I can stay in the top 10 on 3 wheels.
I just know one of these days we're going to roll one or the other over. It's
Totally.
gonna happen.
Oh well.
But Tommy, that whole event, I'd say, even though we weren't finishing up in the top 5, we finally just got an event behind us. Now the momentum's starting to build.
And it was a successful event. The crowd seemed to love that debut figure 8 race. So hopefully we see more throughout the year. It was a fun. I know that we talked about it a little bit on the pre-prep build, pre-race build. Hey, maybe if we get a chance, we can throw a cage in one of these cars and not have to sneak under the radar.
And Nick Wild smoked him up.
It smoked it. There was one point in that figure 8 race, I could not see through the intersection. So I kind of had to tiptoe it, but I sure as hell didn't want to stop.
Yeah.
So.
Oh boy, folks.
You did good.
Yeah.
You did good.
No, that was a fun event, and there's certain to be more coming in the year. But now, it's time for us to move further to the halfway point of this night of destruction. Next up is the skid plate race. Did I mention that you finished 11th? You finished 11th.
I did, and I mentioned it
I finished
times.
last.
I mentioned it 2 times.
But I finished last.
You did.
Next up's the skid plate race.